guys, one of the ways here, back again for another video on the channel. And this one today then, who said there's no drama going into deadline day? My word, there's so much drama at the moment with Swansea City. Now, Swansea City then have had a lot of interest in Celtic striker Adam Idah over the last few days. Now, let's just talk about the situation. Now, obviously Celtic had 2 qualification games to try and get into the Champions League against a team from Kazakhstan. Obviously, they failed to win that game, drew two games 0-0, and obviously in extra time as well, which went to penalties, and unfortunately for Celtic, they did lose on penalties. Now, Adam Idah came on as a second-half substitute in that one on Wednesday night. So obviously, he's gone all the way from Scotland to Kazakhstan, long journey, time difference, etc. Swans did put, a reported bid in on Friday, so he travelled from Scotland, where he just came back from Kazakhstan, all the way down to Swansea. Not a short journey at all. I'm not sure if it would have been a plane. I'm assuming it's going to be just a car journey. But yeah, he made his way down to Swansea, doing the medical. Celtic, unfortunately, we need a replacement, Brendan Rodgers said. So Celtic request Adam Idah to get all the way back up from Swansea to Scotland. And yeah, he's apparently having a second part of his medical today. So it's a bit of a very strange situation. The deal is not confirmed yet. When it is confirmed, I'll do another video. But I just thought I'd give my little thoughts on, the situation and if the signing happens. So, I'm not going to blame Celtic. At the end of the day, Brendan Rodgers, we all know, is a Swansea legend, what he did for Swansea, fantastic stuff. At the end of the day, if you're going to sell a striker, you've got to bring one in. It's one of them positions in football where you have to bring someone in if you're going to sell someone. It's a very weird position, striker, in terms of transfers. It's something I saw on Twitter. It's like a domino effect there. This domino effect with Adam Idah with Swansea is crazy. So Celtic are trying to get Kasper Højlberg, this Danish striker, to replace Adam Idah. Adam Idah makes his way to Swansea, which potentially allows Zan Vopodnik to move abroad, which then means they can sell their striker to Middlesbrough, David Strelec. So there's 4 rumours of strikers just going in complete opposite directions, and if one of those fails, then the whole deal's completely off. So look, I do blame Swans for this. I'm not going to blame Celtic for it. It's their player. They can do exactly what they want. They've got the rights there. That's his contracted club. For the Swans, we've had all summer. We've had all of summer to get a striker. Why are we leaving it till the last minute? And why are we trying to get a striker who had an important game today against Rangers, where realistically would have been a part of the matchday squad? Obviously, he was exiled from the Celtic squad today. Obviously, they drew 0-0 against Rangers. I watched that game. Less said about that game, the better, I think. 2 ex-Swansea City managers put on a great show there. But look, Adam Idah, bit of a difficult situation for him as a footballer. Not a great thing to be a part of. Travelling up and down, clubs taking the mick out of you. But at the end of the day, at Celtic, didn't do tremendously well last season. Yes, did score 20 goals in all competitions. I think in 53 games, only 13 in the league though. But when he did go on loan at Celtic previously, that's where he really shined, and that's why they spent all that money on him. Now, the reported fee I've seen today is £6 million with £1 million in add-ons. Now, I'm thinking, I don't want to be negative, but that is a ridiculous amount of money for us at this level. We've not spent that sort of money since we've been back on the Championship. I think our highest bit of money we've paid overall for one big fee is Burst and Selena, which was about £4 million. Obviously, I think Zidane Anusa has the potential to go up to like £5 million, but obviously the payment up front's like £1.5–2 million. So obviously add-ons and stuff like that. But look, there's no denying that Idah has got some quality. But for me, with the form Zan Vopodnik sitting at the moment, 3 goals in 3 games and an assist as well, do you really want to be bringing a player of Adam Idah's price, which basically means he's going to start with his price? Celtic were in that situation where he just had to start. It was a huge price for Celtic to pay, and obviously the last couple of months and towards last season wasn't starting just because he wasn't hitting the height. So, with a signing like this, you really want someone to be proven at this level. And for me, Idah, he's been in the Championship for 3 years at Norwich, but previously, yes, he had Teemu Pukki for competition, but didn't hit 10 goals in any of his campaigns in the Championship. And Liam Cullen got more than 10 goals last season. So for me, that's a huge red flag. 24 years old, wasn't good enough for Norwich, not good enough for Celtic. What makes us think that he's going to be anytime different? Now, obviously, there is a sort of connection with the manager. Both of them are Irish, very lazy connection, I know. But the assistant manager, Darragh O'Dea, was at Celtic previously, and we did get him from Celtic. So obviously, he'll know Adam Idah personally and as a footballer as well. So I'm not sure if they know something we don't as fans. But look, there's been a lot of people having the same opinion of me that I just don't think we should be going in for this type of striker for that sort of money. Like I said, if Idah was coming in for this amount of money with, 35 goals in all competitions last season and, 53 starts. I say fantastic, but 20 goals in 53 competitions in most circumstances is a good return. But when Celtic have got the best team in Scotland, the best resources, the most money, I don't think it's that great of a return for the money they've spent. I thought, they'd be expecting better, and especially trying to help them as well in qualifying for the Champions League, which they failed to do. Now, if he does sign, I will back him. There will be a video on it if he does sign anyway, and look, it does look like it will happen. But for him as a player, I do feel a bit sorry for him. The situation between Swans and Celtic has not been great. Coming from Kazakhstan to Scotland, then coming down to Swansea, then being told you've got to make your way back up to Scotland because they can't get their replacement. Now going back to Swansea a couple of days later, not for him, not great. So it's probably good that we've got an international break, really, just so he's not getting rushed into things. But look, a huge pressure on Adam Idah, especially if Vopodnik does go up as part of this transfer, because Vopodnik now has started hitting the hypes, and a lot of fans are really behind Vopodnik, and obviously the Cullen situation's not great. But I feel like if Idah comes in as competition for Vopodnik and Cullen, I'd be happy with that. But the reason I'm unhappy with is that there's a lot of rumours and a lot of solid reports that Vopodnik will be going if Idah comes in. Now, like I said, Vopodnik was a free transfer from Bordeaux. Took him a long time to get going last season. Obviously didn't get a pre-season at all with Bordeaux going bankrupt. So it's taken him a while to get going. And sometimes, you don't click in your first season. If you come from a foreign league, new language, stuff like that, new league, new physical style, new players, new manager, it does take some players a full year to really get going. He's had a year. I know he's starting to get firing. And now we're going to get rid of him. Now, if Vopodnik handed in a transfer request, which I don't think he has, there'd be no reason to play him. Unless the reason they put him in starting these games is to get him out on the market and get some money for him. And if you look at Vopodnik's celebrations, he's not even smiling. And I don't blame him. To be behind Liam Cullen in the pecking order with his form towards the end of last season and this season, I don't blame him. That was Vopodnik's first start in the league out of 4 games. Didn't start against Borough. Didn't start against Watford. Didn't start against Sheffield United. Started against Sheffield Wednesday. Goal. Keeper should have done better, but he helped create that goal. It was a lovely pass to Galbraith, and obviously the rest is history. But look, I don't want to sound too negative. Like I said, I will do a video on it, as I said multiple times. But I'm not one of these people who just go, what a signing, great signing, great signing, great signing. I'll say it as it is. And for me, for the money we're going to reportedly pay Celtic for Adam Idah, it's a poor deal for me. He'd have to get at least 15 goals to make that a good deal. If he gets anything less than 10, I don't see why it's a good deal. And that's the problem. When you pay big prices for big players, is instant pressure. With Vopodnik, there's less pressure, free transfer. Cullen, less pressure, he's come through the academy. But when you pay big money, like we did with Sam Clucas, Borja Baston, and they flop, it will go on the recruitment team. So anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I want to do a little update on what is happening with the situation, as it's dragging on. Now, the deadline does shut 7 p.m. tomorrow, expecting a lot of movement from Swansea City. There are rumours, as recording, that Swansea are interested in Crystal Palace winger Jurison Sake, which I think would be a fantastic deal, proven at this level, going in the playoff final with Sheffield United last season, and would provide great competition for Ronaldo. So yeah, that happens. Be a video on it. But anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Celtic fans, let me know, would you like to keep Adam Idah? I'm pretty sure that's a resounding no for what I've seen through social media. But if you did enjoy, guys, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, that's my thoughts on the Adam Idah situation. And if it happens, I'll back him. But for me, it's not something I would be doing.
I need a one more chance. Oh, baby, let me show you. I need a one more chance. Oh.